As I'm working with different entrepreneurs, a question that I very commonly get is Amazon still a good opportunity? Or what's the best business opportunity for me? Or how should I start a business similar to how you started a business back then, Greg? And I still honestly believe that selling physical products on Amazon is the best opportunity out of anything out there right now for starting a business. And this is for a few reasons. The awesome thing about e-commerce and selling on Amazon specifically is you can reach a very large amount of people, and you don't have to put in all of these upfront expenses to build a storefront or build a warehouse or create something for people to come to. Instead, Amazon's already created that for you, which is so awesome. There's literally millions and millions of people already going to Amazon every single day looking for products. And with that, all it comes down to is really you have to find what they're looking for and sell that to them. Now, of course, there are a lot of other opportunities in e-commerce. One that people commonly speak about is doing something like building a Shopify store. Now, I don't have anything against that, and if you want to do that, feel free to do so. But the really challenging thing about starting your own e-commerce store or your own Shopify store is there's no traffic already coming there. So it's up to you to learn things like Facebook ads or email marketing or creating content and getting it ranked on Google. And all these different marketing channels can be a lot more complicated to learn or to master compared to what it is to just sell on Amazon. On top of that, Amazon, whether you like it or not, is taking over the world, and they are the 800-pound gorilla of e-commerce. More than half of e-commerce sales already happen on Amazon, and their penetration into that market is continuing to increase year after year. So some people choose to fight it and choose to try to get those customers to go to other places or other websites. Me, I'd rather just embrace it. Instead of fighting kind of the inevitable, why don't you instead just sell where the customers are already going and already searching for products? So that's one of the reasons I think it's the best. The second reason is that Amazon does the vast majority of the hard work for you. We already talked about all the customers going there, but the other, let's call it the dirtier side of e-commerce, is all the warehouse related activities. You have to store all these goods and you have to put them into boxes and ship them to the customers, and you have to do that every day, and you need to do it quickly to make sure they're getting their goods on time. Well, Amazon takes care of all of that for you. They store the goods in their warehouse, they pick, pack, and ship it when an order comes, and they handle all of that for you. On top of that, they're also handling the vast majority of the customer support, so they're taking care of that, and a lot of just kind of the back-end systems required to run these e-commerce companies. So through this, you can realize the simplicity of creating a business on Amazon is so much higher than what it is to do something like create your own Shopify store. Now, the last reason that I really love the Amazon opportunity is just the ability to work from anywhere. Even if you're not like me and you don't dream of leaving and traveling the world while you're building or creating these businesses, it's still just really nice to be able to work for a few weeks while you're visiting your parents or a friend, or to move and not have to worry about leaving behind a company that you've created in a brick and mortar location. So with all those combined, I am very confident that my opinion is strongly that Amazon is the best opportunity out there right now for starting your business. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's too saturated now, or oh, that doesn't work anymore, or whatever else. And that couldn't be further from the truth. A little bit earlier, we talked about the jump of e-commerce demand. And with that, it's taken a long time for supply to catch up to that. And it's still not caught up to it. The result of that is 2020 was one of the most lucrative and profitable years for Amazon sellers, like since Amazon opened up their third-party marketplace. And that's still true today. And if you think about it, it makes sense because pretty much overnight, we had this large jump of e-commerce demand, and it takes much, much longer for the supply to catch up to that demand. If you can imagine, like twice as many goods being sold online. It's like, okay, so the factories have to create twice as much. We have to ship twice as much over, primarily from China. There's all these aspects of the supply side of it that are much slower to catch up to the demand. Hopefully you agree with me that starting a business on Amazon is the best model right now. And if you do, then it's time to start thinking about which opportunity on Amazon you want to take advantage of. And what I mean by that is it ultimately comes down to where you're sourcing the products that you're going to be selling to your customers. Since Amazon handles a lot of that more difficult work, like we spoke about a little bit earlier, one of the biggest things it is for the entrepreneur to figure out is what they want to sell. And let's start just by thinking about or talking about the different areas that you could source your products. You may have heard of the term retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, and what they mean by that is you go into stores like Walmart or Target or wherever else, or their websites, you find goods on clearance, and then you resell those on Amazon for kind of the normal price. Now, this is a pretty cool way to get started, kind of test out the platform, figure out how it all works, and a lot of people have made a significant amount of money from it. What I don't like, or the downsides of that opportunity, is that it's not real scalable because you have to be the one out there searching through all the different stores, their different e-commerce sites to find those goods to sell. And it's not like a steady stream. It's like you're finding something on clearance and there's only a few of them available. But it's a pretty cool way to get started. Another area to source products is through a traditional wholesale relationship. So you create a relationship with Nike, they sell you their shoes at the wholesale rates, you then send those into Amazon and you sell those goods on Amazon. Now, 5 or 10 years ago, there were a lot of good opportunities like that because Amazon was still kind of flying under the radar and a lot of these big brands or companies weren't selling directly on Amazon because they just weren't taking it seriously yet. Now, if you already have some wholesale relationships, let's say that right now you have a brick and mortar store and you source hot sauce from a few different good suppliers, then feel free to send those into Amazon and sell them like that. And that could be a good opportunity for you. The business model that I like best is commonly referred to as like the private label method. And what we're referring to here is finding these opportunities. So finding what customers are already searching for and already buying. Find a factory to make those goods for you so you get them directly from the factory, which is the best rates possible. You then brand them with your own private label, or you're creating your own brand out of it. You're sending these goods into Amazon and selling them through their platform. Now, this is a little bit more time consuming or complicated to get started because you have to find the factory and you have to ship them typically from China. But from that, you're creating your own brand, which in itself is a valuable asset, and it's very repeatable and predictable. You know that that factory can always create more of these goods for you, and you don't have to be worrying about like going to Walmart or Target and always finding more goods there. The other cool thing about it is you don't have to compete with other people selling on the same listing. So on Amazon, how it works is there's only one listing for each SKU out there. So if you are selling Nikes and there's 10 other sellers selling the same shoes, you're all competing on the same listing. And the only thing to differentiate you with those other sellers is the price at which you're selling it. With private label, when you're owning your own brand, if you don't sell it to anyone else, no one else is selling on that listing. And the result of that is you have much more control over your pricing. You're much more incentivized to create a really good listing that's going to convert well. And all around, it's just like the best long-term kind of sustainable business model to go after. And that's also why I preferred using the private label method. If there's any piece that's kind of missing or unclear to you, Jungle Scout also has a tremendous amount of content on our website as well as our YouTube channel. We have content with about anything that you can imagine when it comes to all things related to Amazon, whether you're just getting started and getting that business off the ground, or you're ready to scale to $1 million, or even when you've already made it there and you're looking to scale to $100 million a year in sales. As you're listening to this, I would challenge you to be thinking to yourself, what does your ideal life look like? What are you doing right now that you don't like? Creating a successful business, what would that give you to be able to create that life that you really want to do?